I'm back. I mean, it's only one of the thousands. I don't think you need to be too worried. No, I mean, I wasn't worried that it was gone. I was more worried that I got a strike for that. You know? Because 3 strikes and your channel gets deleted. And I was just kind of like, I get a strike for something that other people talked about? That's dumb. Yeah. Alright. Preferred option. As Howard said, this will probably be the longest. Yeah, okay. It's might be the longest, who knows. Alright, here we go. Thawmeal again. God. To think that we only had the 4th one, it's already 2 hours. All of the SCPs today have been really highly rated. SCP-203 is contained at Site-47, a Type 4 restricted zone. In accordance with Type 4 protocols, personnel assigned to SCP-203 research security and maintenance must undergo expanded background check procedures as well as successfully pass a Hoiberg-Kazawara causality questionnaire. Access to SCP-203 itself is limited to XN Shepherd Project participants with prior approval from Director of Site-47. Site-47 concealed within the refinery in... Let's have a closer look, shall we? God, that's spewing some smoke. Look at all that that is some smoke right there, huh? Poor Earth. Yep, that's smoke. All information regarding the determinative sets, elevated probability events, designated magnifier individuals, and the XN Shepherd program is classified and accessible only by Director of Site 47057 and those personnel reading those SCP-203 security protocols. No, it's Steam. Steam from the Steam hams we're having. I thought you said we're gonna have steamed hams. Steamed clams. That's not nuke, that's new here. Howard. Don't confuse those two. Observation of designated indicated data deviations significantly from determinative set XN parameters are to be reported immediately to the Director of Site-47 and treated as a level 5 existential threat. Emergency response event. Description: SCP-203 is an apparatus allowing a... yeah, okay, it's not. SCP-203 is an apparatus allowing a limited degree of travel to and from periods of time in advance of those encountered in the normal course of space-time as understood by mainstream science. SCP-203 was designed and built by the Foundation over a 25-year period using technology derived from research into SCP, and SCP. While the technical capabilities and design specification of SCP-203 are well documented and reproducible if necessary, the scientific and anomalous principles behind its functionality are not understood at this time. Whenever I see something like from research into this, I always think of the soldier from Team Fortress 2 video. It was like, this is a fucking dear God. There's more. No! So I imagine that same here, just using technology derived from research into SCP. Dear God, SCP. No! You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, damn. I'm shaking me boots. Upon activation, SCP-203 is capable of transporting a living entity contained within its central chamber to a point coterminous with its present location in physical space but located in a future time period. The amount of time into the future traveled by the subject is related to the amount of energy input into SCP-203. An approximate estimate of 3,500 kilowatts in order to... No, that's something else, right? To send the subject 7 months into the future has been documented. That's not watts, that's something else. However, this relationship becomes unpredictable at higher energy levels. Subject using SCP-203 will exist in the time period to which they have traveled to for a duration ranging between 15 and 38 weeks before spontaneously returning to the time period of origination at a point coterminous with their present location. For safety purposes, a secure location has been established for operatives to use while waiting for return to their time of origin. Operators must report subsequent to experiencing 98 days after SCP-203 activation. While SCP-203 enables chronological travel for living subjects, the activation process has proven severely damaging to most types of animal and plant tissue. The only exception documented to date has been tissue related to the animal nervous system. As a result, personnel designated for SCP-203 travel must be prepared accordingly. See additional documentation for details. I just now realized, did I not put... Yeah, I did not put a dev future in the list. Let me just really quickly do that. There we go. Now we're back on track. The testing has shown that under conditions, SCP-203 remains functional and under the Foundation control through December of 2348. There's a lot of time-related ones. Because Death Future, Deus Ex Machina, this one. Addendum 2003A, general results of SCP-203 research. The theme was science fiction, so that makes sense. I mean, also space, right? Yeah. Initial deployment of... By the way, how does a series get the theme picked out? Is it just pure coincidence, or is that something that they established beforehand? Like, hey guys, we'd like this series to be more sci-fi related. Can you guys come up with some science fiction stuff? Or is that just pure coincidence that everybody decides to write that their way? It's a KCON. It's the Cyber one. Okay, that's... Admins pick one and then there's a contest. That makes sense. Initial deployment of SCP-203 began in 1995 using modified personnel to observe future conditions and events. The purpose of these deployments was to confirm the nature of travel using SCP-203 and, if possible, collect data allowing the Foundation to better mitigate further anomalous phenomena. The results of these initial exploratory missions demonstrated several crucial principles for understanding observation of future events. Everyone knows the theme and they get a month to write it. 1000 was urban legend themes. Highest score gets... gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Understood. Data collected using SCP-203 is imprecise. Early exploratory missions yield copious amount of data regarding what appear to be future events. However, subsequent observation has established that these observations are not entirely predictive. For instance, while collected data allow Foundation assets to prevent a major security breach of SCP at Site 19 in 1997, a catastrophic earthquake originating off the coast of the western United States, observed directly by several field agents using SCP-203, failed to occur as predicted in 1999. As more data has been collected, meta-analysis has properly contextualized observation and has assigned a probability of occurrence for major events in the future. Run-ups get to choose a random spot in the... and since a lot of people pick... a lot of the first SCPs of a series are contest entries. Okay. Certain individual appears to affect causality disproportionately. As Foundation cataloging of possible future events increased following the completion of more exploratory missions, certain events were deemed to be undesirable for the Foundation's mission. Early attempts to influence these events met with mixed success, while manipulation and or elimination of some individuals achieved mission goals. Other Foundation attempts to influence events failed to alter outcomes at all. Even when several actors deemed to be essential were liquidated. Meta-analysis has determined that in some cases the actions or indeed very existence of individuals with no discernible relation to major events, sometimes in regions thousands of kilometers away, have profound and immediate impacts on these events. Since this discovery, research staff has maintained a database of these individuals. Few cohesive futures are tolerable to the continued beneficial existence of humanity. While observed conditions exhibit a tendency towards variation upon each exploratory mission, a number of loosely consistent timelines have been observed, cataloged in Foundation databases as determinative sets. Most determinative sets consist of all collective future that either renders Earth unsuitable for human civilization, in some cases life in total, or results in conditions directly inimical to the well-being of most of humanity. The reasons for the relative paucity of long-term survival scenarios, if any exist, are unknown at this time, as is any connection to the steadily increasing observation of anomalous phenomena documented across the Foundation. Okay, TS/203/eyes only. Pardon. This is a really good Eldritch take on time travel. It sounds really cool. I'm also just a bit like overwhelmed because I had so many time traveling things right after each other, but I do like this one. Addendum 203B, preparation of personnel for use. Due to the nature of SCP-203's effect on human anatomy, spatial preparation must be made in order to properly outfit personnel for chronological travel in conditions suitable for both survival and ability to carry out mission objectives. Because of this sensitive nature of tasks necessary during SCP-203 missions, D-Class have been deemed unsuitable subjects. Preference for SCP-203 subjects recruitment is to be given to personnel nearing or past official retirement age. In cases where personnel have been diagnosed with terminal illness that does not impair neurological or cerebrospinal function, preference may also be granted. Personnel volunteering for SCP-203 travel are to be moved to the Tier 6 pay scale for the duration of the assignment. Any survivors are entitled to an elevated benefit package distributed through normal clandestine channels. Prior to outfitting, selected personnel are to undergo extended sensory deprivation training, concurrent with training in simulated environments analogous to those experienced by occupants of the XX890-V live function and observation LFO system. During this period, personnel must undergo a prophylactic course of antidepressant and antipsychotic as overseen by medical staff. And here we have a picture called Prototype XX890-V LFO system, developed clandestine by Foundation-owned asset Boston Dynamics as Big Dog. Now that's a big dog. Looks cool though, I like it. Nice touch with the Foundation apparently owning a real-world company. Reminds me of remember like that one SCP where like the Foundation was able to like come to our world? Do you think they took some inspiration from that? They were like, what if we have that but here? Upon completion of training at regiments, personnel are to have all brain tissue, nerves, and associated nervous system structures surgically removed and transplanted into the XX890-V LFO system. All usable organs are to be harvested afterwards per medical protocols. God damn. Current guidelines authorize the XX890-V LFO system and occupants for users of SCP-203. When not engaged on missions, personnel to be kept in an induced coma state, concurrent with research establishing 18 months as the median time period before communication and feedback from XX890-V LFO occupants become agitated and incomprehensible. The nature of the XX890-V LFO systems to remain classified and accessible only to senior personnel. Get in the robot, Shinji! You think it pays taxes? Nah, absolutely not. It's been 2 hours and you're still at... Yeah, they're big boys. But we'll get through it. TS 203, eyes only. Addendum 203C, overview of XN Shepherd Program. Memorandum 2, Armored Side 47 Director. We finish when we finish. we'll get there in Hawaiian time. What's Hawaiian time? We get there when we get there. From 057, response to determinative set xn. Up to this point, all attempts at future intervention using SCP-2003 have been limited in scope and scattershot in nature. I have been... Wait. I have seen the wisdom in this approach. It is informed by painstaking contingency planning and risk-benefit evaluation. The last 18 months of reports, however, have promised if we are bold enough to seize the initiative, we may have found a way out here. The price, though, there is always a price, as you well know. Consider this note as an official change in policy. As of today, all efforts at intervention are now aimed at bringing about and preserving XN. Designated magnifier individuals associated with XN are to be protected from undue interference at the expense of all other priorities. In particular, Neurodagne must be allowed to die in the manner most observations have predicted for her. If anything at all changes in that regard, make it happen. I trust that you are familiar enough with the rest of the determinative sets to understand why we're going this way. One more thing. All communications, and I mean all with anyone outside of Site 47, are to be cleared and routed through my office. Tell you what, when we reach... no, we shall not. And I don't know why, after so many streams, you still try to make me read tales, or try to like make me hop off any of my system or of the way I do things. I'm not going to jump into something else. Everybody else here knows how this works. Stop that. Last warning. Addendum D. Listing of known determinative sets. Preferred option XN. Currently, okay, so we have designation, description, and notes. Currently documented in reality, society continues along established foundation projections regarding economic trends, environmental factors, and social upheaval. Anomalous activity continues to manifest, mostly consistent with presence rates. Consensus reality maintained successfully until 83345 more, previously on tracks asteroid 22 kilometers in diameter, collides with Earth in January of 2349, killing most of humanity immediately and rendering the planet unsuitable for sustained human existence. See Addendum C. Well, great. They're like, oh, let's go to that year. What happens here? Dear God! The bad end. Yeah. Other documented determinative sets. XB. Development of society continues in manner similar to XN until April 23, 2017, when a gamma ray burst originating from the vicinity of HD 188753 directly strikes Earth. The burst lasts 2 minutes and 38 seconds and kills all known form of life. Researcher directly observing this scenario at the time of the gamma ray burst was the only known living being to survive the event and was able to continue collecting data until his return 52 days later. Study of use of XX890 V LFO system for high radiation environments pending. Can you imagine being the only survivor of a gamma ray burst? You just like everything explodes around you and you're like, guys? XE. The election of Sir William Entwistle as Prime Minister of New Zealand in 2049, combined with the birth of an unmanned infant boy in Ahal Province, Turkmenistan on the same day, led to an escalating chain of events culminating in a society-destroying nuclear exchange between the nations of Israel and Greater Indonesia in 2058. All Foundation attempts to interfere with either individuals merely result in the date of the nuclear exchange occurring sooner. In all permutation of the set, widespread public knowledge of the Foundation occurs precisely 86 days before the detonation of nuclear weapons. God, can you imagine, like every timeline you visit, shit just goes wrong. I like the subtle punchline of it, building up this idea of the timeline must lead to the specific iteration or we'll be fucked. And then the iteration is meteor hits and almost everyone dies. Yeah. XH, between the years 2023, that's now, and 2034, world governments approach global affairs at a radically increased level of cooperation due to the onset of a highly virulent influenza epidemic that kills approximately 1.4 billion worldwide. Throughout the 2040s and 2050s, many long-standing ethnic conflicts are resolved through the intervention of multilateral organizations, and endemic poverty and hunger in areas such as sub-Saharan Africa and the Indian subcontinent are substantially decreased. And large-scale projects mitigating sea level rise are completed throughout coastal regions. On July 29, 2059, the entire population of Earth spontaneously vanishes along with all known animals life with no observed return within observational range. This is the year when I finally catch up reading all the SCPs and then we just cease to exist. It's 2024 Fluff. Yes, but it does say between the years of 2023 and 2034, which is right now. We're in between those years. They achieved world peace and got raptured. They absolutely got raptured. And again, this is the year where I finish reading SCPs and everybody's like, we're done. We have achieved enlightenment, and suddenly God himself just XJ, an entity later confirmed to be an exact duplicate of Dr. Masako Koizumi, one of the original researchers responsible for prior to its containment, appears within an inner security perimeter at Arm Site 47. On April 1st, 2011, the entity requests that Dr. Koizumi's scheduled euthanization elsewhere within the facility be cancelled immediately. As SCP was not functional at the time of established containment, the means by which the entity is able to make this request are unknown and presumed to occur in the future. However, due to the establishment of K Failsafe Protocol 12, the request is impossible for the Foundation personnel to comply with, resulting in an Alpha 8 type temporal paradox. This series of events repeats for an uncountable number of instances, resulting in the eventual collapse of space-time as understood by humanity. This scenario was ultimately averted by staff sedating the duplicate of Dr. Koizumi, placing it into an XX-890V LFO platform and transporting it in SCP-203 using all available energy. Temporal complications from this action are unknown, but presumably do not materialize prior to 2349. How many more left? Okay. They won the game and went to the credits. So if world peace happens when you finish reading this, you ought to hurry up. No. When I finish reading this, that's when world peace happens, not the other way around. Or unless you want me to hurry up so world peace happens fast. Now I get it. Yeah. I have to hurry up so world peace comes here quicker. EXO, anomalous phenomena begins increasing in frequency by orders of magnitude beginning in 2037. The Foundation comprehensively loses capabilities to protect consensus reality by 2039, and world civilization undergoes a period of chaos and upheaval. Mutants die in spontaneous riots and mass suicides become commonplace throughout the world. Numerous messianic religious movements quickly form and contribute greatly to civil conflict and internecine warfare. By mid-2040s, several sects of remnants of national governments successfully weaponize various anomalous phenomena, and humanity is wiped out by 2048, with the exception of a small group of survivors sheltering in the remnants of Site-104. All contact with this group is lost upon the discovery of Ring K of Site-104. Due to the open nature of anomalous phenomena in this scenario, data collected is the most comprehensive of any determinative set, as Agent is able to work openly and unimpeded. World War IV will happen if you don't finish reading it in under 5 minutes, unfortunately. Looks like we skipped one of the world wars apparently. Humanity goes goblin. Humanity just goes goblin mode. Yeah, that's how we see it. The population of Homo ignorant. Oh my god, I'm itchy now. A mosquito must come in here. Ignitus, long estimated by Foundation operators to be approximately 500 individuals, increases overnight to approximately 8 billion individuals in 2015. A short violent struggle ensues between the combined forces of the Foundation and H. Ignitus, with all means of resistance to the newly ascended H. Ignitus population systematically destroyed within 3 days. Humanity is then... Researchers currently have divergent theories as to whether the determinist set is predictive of the intentions of the known H. Ignitus population, with the current theories of and being supported the most. Did expunged. When they bust out the long redactions, you know things are yeah. When they erase a whole line, a whole bar, that's when you know, like, oh shit, something happened. Excess. The Terminator said excess proceeds in a manner similar to XN until an indeterminate date in 2019, when armed Site 47 and all knowledge of SCP-203 is apparently lost to the Foundation. Researcher is attained by the XS version of the Foundation during an observational mission in 2022 and held as an SCP-classified phenomenon until her return. Researcher is attained by XS Foundation personnel at point of entry upon commencement of her next observational mission and returns with no retrievable data and portion of her brain tissue removed. No further information on the terminus set XS is available. Level 4 security access only. There's a couple more. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay, gotcha. XU. On February 17th, 2026, contrary to all astronomical models and understanding of both classical and quantum mechanics, the Sun suddenly collapses into a black hole despite not meeting commonly understood mass thresholds for triggering such an event. Despite the almost immediate cooling of Earth and all other planets in the solar system to approximately minus 270 degrees Celsius, and the elimination of all other forms of life, humans are unable to die, maintaining consciousness despite the lack of continuing biological function and almost total cessation of molecular movement. So you're just frozen in time. Well, just frozen. You can still move, you can still think, time still goes on, but you just... The determinative set is a subset of previously designated set XT. XT was a future in which a single totalitarian regime had assumed control over the planet and targeted various subversive organizations for elimination, focusing on Foundation personnel in particular. Foundation researchers attempt to avert this scenario by sending 3 identified individuals from South Korea into orbit on the National Space Station XT results. Imagine, like, going to the bathroom and you get frozen in time. Well, not frozen in time, just frozen. You're just sitting there forever. XW, being strong resembling human-sized animate versions of SCP, manifest in major population centers on August 13th, 2019. Rather than causing alarm, these beings quickly become accepted by humanity after offering major advances in medical science, energy production, crop cultivation, and the arts. By the close of 2022, thousands of people willingly joined an experimental program to combine the consciousness of multitudes of humans into a single entity. Have my mind. In 2024, a fully mature human believed to possess a mind composed of the transferred consciousness of approximately 134,000 people is created by these beings. This human is then confined to a cell left with only automatically dispensed supplies of food and water and sealed off from all outside contact. All the humans are systematically exterminated by the end of 2024. The last 2 personnel sent to observe the determinative set XW agent and researcher failed to return to time of origin and are listed MIA in this time. Again, I like how time travel is all sorts of fucked up and eldritch and nonsensical in this one. These patterns that don't make sense, like in every single timeline the Foundation goes public this exact number of days before the world ends. But then there's just nonsensical shit like, we send 3 people to a space station, somehow all life on Earth is suffering forever in a biological impossible state. Yeah, it's like no matter what they do, some bullshit will happen. Imagine like every single timeline you confess something, your deepest, darkest secret, and somehow every single timeline you said that, the Earth ends in one way or another, and you just sit there like, what? Don't you guys think it's a little bit extreme? I mean, the meteor you cannot prevent. The meteor is just like pure like. Nani? XX, an undiscovered protist unidentified in the observed timeline designated Nephroisospora aranae by Foundation researchers undergoes a geometric increase in population due to what is presumed to be a recently developed adaptation allowing it to survive in almost all aqueous environments. N. aranae proves adept at moving into and surviving in human nervous tissue. Please do not. Initiating a disorder similar to toxoplasmosis that causes humans to develop monomaniacal fondness for Phoneutria nigriventa, Brazilian wandering spider. By 2028, almost 85% of the human population has been infected, and most of society's resources are reordered towards the preservation and breeding of the P. nigriventa. Uninfected individuals are detained and in most cases interred in P. nigriventa breeding facilities in an attempt to provide additional food sources for the specimens. Due to the singular worldwide focus on production and maintenance of spider population, crop failures and infrastructure degradation become systemic, and global famine results in the death of approximately 6 billion persons in 2030s. Research is ongoing and the possible anomalous causes behind the increased prevalence of N. aranae and/or the nature of its function as a pathogen. Can you imagine? The world ended because you were too busy taking care of a spider. You fool, you just accidentally assassinated Robert Evan, the local plumber. This will eventually begin a chain of events that leads to the complete annihilation of the solar system due to an SO-class carnivorous poop shit. That's how it reads though. That's how it is. Luckily, we got the Deus Ex Machina, so we can just go back and but if we're not mistaken, SCP-202, that future, is connected to this one. So there's a future that happened here that where they had to send people back, and of course, then yeah. Ooh. XZ. Earth has been completely depopulated. Large facilities have been constructed in the center of all sides of four major cities, capable of enabling instantaneous travel over an immense distance to a point determined by post-observation analysis to be somewhere in the vicinity of the Hydra supercluster. Subsequent observers were authorized to enter these facilities and were apparently transported to an Earth-analogous biome planet with a functioning human civilization. In each case, observers transported to this location were immediately detected by residents of this planet. While residents choose to forego any communication with observers, each observer was subsequently escorted through selected locations of the society encountered on this planet, encompassing large public works projects, monuments, museums, and other culturally significant locations. The human civilization encountered in the Hydra supercluster is apparently advanced by modern standards and lacking in many of the most commonly identified factors negatively affecting extant societies. This civilization has persisted past the range of observation thus far, indicating ongoing survival. Further investigation authorized under Excellent Shepherd. Re-evaluation of preferred option pending. So this actually links to an old SCP-001, which you probably read before since it's really old. It's past and future. But yeah. I remember. Let me click on this. I'm pretty sure. PDF. Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember this image. I remember these images. We good. Woo. I love how this was preferred option. As in, like, which is your preferred ending? That's how I read it. It's like, what ending do you prefer, guys? Or what ending should we go for? All of them, we die. But which one do we pick?